Okay, so let's go ahead with part three quickly. A question got asked: how did I pay bills? Part three, first of all, to the video of how the Lord stripped me financially for 10 whole years because I had set up an idol of money in my heart. Didn't know it, didn't realize it. The Lord didn't make me aware of that was part of the reason why He took me through that process uh, until just the other day when He allowed me to know because I had made an idol out of money. But a question I asked, well, how did you pay your bills through the 10 year? Because as I shared, the Lord didn't allow me to work. Um, I was not allowed to work. I didn't say I never didn't work. Because I even touched bases on that throughout the 10-year process. There were times in disobedience when I would try to go get a job, but the Lord would shut it down. Um, I can think of one time in particular where He told me to walk away from the job because you have to understand, and just because this is how strict my process was, don't mean that yours would be that strict. I had a whole idol of money set up in my heart that didn't just get there in one day. It was created over a period of time. So it was going to take a strict period of time, a certain process that the Lord knew I needed to be taken through in order to break me free from that idol. Um, but so let's address the question that was asked. How did you pay your bills? Um, through the 10 years since I wasn't able to work. And I replied to the comment. I said, I solely depended on God. And so I hope I'm not mistaken, getting the question wrong. But I think the person asked basically, well, what did that look like? Did the Lord come through for you? To sum it up, make an answer just simple. Um, he really did come through for me. I can't sit up here and tell you He didn't. God was, I don't know if you ever heard someone say, how can I say it? God is on your side even when you don't know He on your side. Like, first of all, I didn't most know I was going to have to go through that type of process. Um, but God was working, if this makes sense. God was working behind the scenes way before I got to the place of the process. During the early, how can I say, during the early beginning parts of, or I say, um, mm, I can't necessarily say at the beginning because the beginning, they wasn't assigned at the very beginning, but the doors that was being opened to me financially to meet the needs that I had, it was coming directly from God. Like, to give you an example, because I couldn't work, I had to take the needs the needs that I had to take it in a prayer request to God, right? Then God would answer it. I'm gonna share an example with you. Like, but you have to also remember I had an idol of money. So I'm gonna be transparent with you and tell you of one example for a fact to make it more clear. I can't think of what the need was that I needed to be met. Um, but I felt like God wasn't coming through quick enough. I had prayed, but I just felt like it wasn't being met quick enough. So because I had the idol of money in my heart, I went and returned back to some of my old ways of how I knew I can get the money. And just as sure as after it was done, the Lord ended up allowing my name to get called in a $500 drawing. I mean, not even an hour later, my name was called. So it's not that God wasn't showing up for me. It's that I was still wrestling with that idol of money. But that's just one example. During that 10 years, God would teach me on how to decree this gonna happen for you. Another example. I mean, when I tell you I solely depended on God, and He came through for me. When He began to give me the revelation on decreeing stuff would happen. One time I didn't have no groceries. Oh, and when I tell you I didn't have no finances to get the groceries, the Lord, I went off the revelation that He told me about decree this will happen. And I just out of the blue, I said, I decree I'm going to the store tomorrow and I'm going to get some groceries. And just as sure as He's God, one of the people that the Lord had ended up assigning to financially help me. They didn't know it. I didn't know it. But they didn't know that the Lord was using them as a financial helper during that 10-year process that He was taking me through. But they just happened to show up the next day. And the Lord, the person was coming to take my cousin to the store. Um, it looked like I should never got in the vehicle. I didn't have no money. I didn't have no government assistance to go get no type of groceries. But I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, "Don't miss that ride." I heard the Spirit of the Lord tell me, "Don't miss that ride." Or did He tell me get it? I think it was "Don't miss that ride." Make a story short, I got in the vehicle with them. I acted on faith. Uh, and just sure enough, it still didn't look like. But hold on, let me take my time. But just sure enough, when we got to the store, they got in the store. I'm in the store. I'm walking with that individual, and it almost looked like. No, matter of fact, when they got in the store, that individual had went with my cousin at the time. And so I'm just walking off by myself. I knew I had decreed a day before, but I still didn't have no finances or government assistance to get anything. So I'm like, okay, Lord, I know the revelation you gave me behind me. Maybe I'm going to find something on the floor. You know how you look for money on the ground or whatever? That's when the individual came and caught up with me, called my name, took out $100, said, "Here, don't." Took out $100 and gave it to me. I had just decreed the day before, based off the revelation that the Lord began to teach me on how decreeing something would happen for you. I had decreed the day before that I was going to go to the store and get some groceries. Didn't have a penny at the time. Didn't have no government assistance. Nothing. Didn't even know how it was going to happen. I just went off the word of God. And sure enough, when my cousin out of the blue just showed up to take my other cousin to the store, the Spirit of the Lord, I heard Him say, "Don't miss that ride." I got in, not knowing, okay, Lord, it didn't look like my cousin. It was no signs being shown that, oh, you finna get some money. I didn't see a rain cloud. It was no indication of it's finna rain. It was sunny. Get in the store, he walking with my other cousin. Then he just happened to catch up, called my name, took out $100 and say, "Here." That's just two examples. I can go on, but I can write a whole. When I tell you I solely depended on God, I solely depended on God. If I had a need, I prayed and He came through. I hope that answered your question, but that's my process He took me through. Take care.